Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the stream, welcome back to another video. This is I think it's maybe we're going to be doing part 6, I think, of this guy right here. The Flakpanzer Gepard, 1/35 scale by Tamiya. So let's get into it. Well, we're nearing the end, guys. We have almost completed the assembly of this thing. If this thing does look like it's a slight shade darker than it used to, well, that's because it is. I hit this thing with a nice liberal coat of Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. So it's not the dark green anymore, it's like it is on the inside here, which you probably can't tell on the camera anyway. This is now black. So I hit it with the primer, and then I gave it a nice good coat of Tamiya's XF69 NATO Black, because NATO Black is one of the 3 colors that I'm going to be painting this. The other 2 are these ones. The XF65, this is the Field Gray, although it's really a kind of green. And we're going to be doing the XF64 Red Brown. Now, if you look at the instructions, it actually doesn't really give you much to go by. We have matte brown, olive drab, red brown, and that's it. And black. So Tamiya's call out for colors, they don't actually give you the actual color specifics on which ones they want you to use. They're just saying matte black, matte white, matte brown, flesh, olive drab, red brown, gloss red, gunmetal, and chrome. And that's it. That's literally all the colors on here. And they don't give you any diagram or anything on how to do the camouflage pattern whatsoever. So it's all just guesswork, right? Fortunately, there are other companies out there that do actually show you the camouflage pattern that was typically used on these guys. And so I've got, you know, with the wonders of the internet, you can download other installation manuals and things like that for these things, and find one that looks pretty good. So even though I could have gone with Tamiya makes a NATO brown and a NATO green, yeah, I don't have those ones, so I'm going with ones that are going to be similar. So we have the black done, and so my next color is going to be green. Now this thing is mainly going to be green. So did I have to do the whole thing in black? No, I didn't. I just did it because I wasn't quite sure exactly where I want it all maxed out. So we're going to be using this stuff. This is not something I've used very often. It's maybe once or twice. This is the AK Camouflage Plastic Putty. Okay. This stuff is like a, I don't even know what it is. It's like a silicone goop, like Play-Doh kind of thing, that is great for masking things like, well, things like this. This has been sitting on my desk for a little while now. So, let's see. This stuff is kind of funny, and sometimes it stretches really good, and sometimes, like if I do it slow, it stretches out like that. But I don't always want it to be like that. I want to get just a little piece, and you kind of do it fast, and it breaks off. And you can flatten it out, you can roll it out. It's really, it holds its shape really well. But let me rephrase that. It holds its shape, but it doesn't like to be tall. If I just let that sit like this, it will slowly flatten out like that. And so you got to be a little mindful when you're using it on this kind of stuff. You don't want it very tall because it will flatten out on you. So use it very sparingly. Make sure you're using flat things or using it very thin like this, right? And do your patterns, and it really works well. And it, as far as holding its shape like this, it does a great job, right? I got no complaints about that. If I did have a complaint about this stuff, I would say that sometimes you get it in little nooks and crannies, and it doesn't want to pull out of them. But it does kind of pull out with its own stuff. You can sit there and try and pull it out with your tweezers or whatever, and it doesn't want to go. You just touch it with its own self, and it pulls out right away. So there's that. So with that being said, we're going to put our brown aside for now. We're going to be doing the green today. I'm going to do, all the wheels are going to be green, and I got to do some camouflage pattern on the sides and on the top. So I've already done the sides, as you can tell. You guys never saw me take this off of this sprue last time, but it's off now, and they're going to go on the sides there. So I might just hold it on with masking tape, put some masking tape in here just to hold them for now temporarily. It's just solely for the spray painting process. So I think that's what I'm going to do right now. So let's get some masking tape here. And we're going to do that right now. The other thing I did this week is I got the tracks done. Well, they're not quite done. They're almost done. What I did get done is they are painted. Completely painted and ready. And that's always an exciting thing, at least to me, when the tracks are finished and they're ready for installation. I want to put another little piece just right there, just to help it at the front stay where it's supposed to stay. I'll show you guys after I get the tape on here. I think that's good enough, just like that. A little bit of a gap, but that's fine. It's not going to affect anything. That should be good. That's going to be pretty much exactly how it's going to be when it's actually assembled. I'll show you the tanks, the treads. Here's one. Remember, these things are rubber, right? It's just a rubber track. That's what Tamiya's done. So it doesn't quite look like the same as it did before. Let me change the camera to this one here so you can see a little better. Okay, so there's my rusty yet metallic-y. I've got did all the pads on the front, on the bottom there. Those are all black, and I've got my rust effects, so it looks like rusty metal in random places. But in the middle, along that center line where it would go in between the wheels, right along there, we've got some metallic, nice shine where it would constantly be rubbing and not allow a lot of rust accumulation in the middle. So there's that. So how did I get to this? Well, three things. First of all, I use these guys. These are Vallejo's Mecha line of paints. Okay, this one is rust texture matte. This one is light rust wash. Okay, and this one is dark rust wash. Now, obviously the lids look a little funny. What I did is I used some Mr. Surfacer 1500 on the lid, and then I painted it so you can see the three different tones, right? a light orange, a little bit darker orange, and an almost brown. That's basically the three colors. Okay, so that's what I used. I was going to try and put it on, just use it straight onto them, but because I thought these were kind of molded in a color that's almost a dark, almost a gunmetal color, was the color that these were really molded in. And I thought that would look good, having that as the base color is the gunmetal, because it looks metallic, right? But I found the paint was not sticking to it. I had to put something down over first. So I just used, put some Mr. Surfacer on there just to give it a primer. And then I just took one of my darker gray Tamiya paints. I happen to use this one, the TS33 or 32 Haze Gray, and use that as my base color. Yeah, I could use like a darker gray, like a gunship gray. Yeah, I could have done that, but this one was here, and so I just chose this. 99% going to be covered anyway in rust, so yeah. So I sprayed this down on it, and then these did a much better job of doing the coverage. Starting with the lightest color first, put that down, then you go to your next color. Don't do quite as much of a coverage on it, do like 80%, and then the darkest one, I basically just used the toothpick and flicked it in little spots and stuff like that as the darker one, and that's what we come up with. Then of course, just using plain flat black, painted all the pads on the bottom, and that's a good base. That's good for getting installed on there. And the last step is going to be grab some CA glue, put it on there, squeeze these two together, and lock it together like that, and the track's ready to be installed. And that's it. That's the tracks, and that's what I did with those. So yeah, that's them. So let's get back to getting this thing ready for some masking and some paint. Let's just put this back in here for now, because I'm not ready for it quite yet, because I want to put this side on now. Just get this side ready. Okay. A little bit harder to line up now that I've got that on there. Alright, there we go. So, our sides are on, if only temporarily. It's good enough getting ready for some masking. So, I want to use my reference pictures from the other diagram. So, upon opening the picture, this might change, I don't know exactly, but I want to use a reference for that. I just have to find it here. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. Okay. So with this opened up, I'll show you guys. I'll throw up the picture in on YouTube and in editing, so you can see kind of what I'm looking at when I'm doing this. This is what I'm looking at. So, looks like I'm already in danger of ripping these things off like I thought I would, but that's okay. So we've got a strip here that's going to stay black. So we're basically going to be making some noodles out of this stuff. Or should I say maybe some flat noodles? Kind of like this. So this is going to come up right around here. Part of it is going to be being mindful of what's being masked and what's not. Now, it's not an exact science. It's really up to you how you want to do it. Right? There really is no, unless you're trying to recreate a specific tank or pattern, it really doesn't matter. It's up to you. That's the thing with camouflage patterns. You really do have quite a lot of artistic license when it comes to recreating them. So there you go. There's our first pattern. This is going to be not painted inside there. Now, whether or not you want to actually put some more masking tape and keep that like that, that's really up to you. See what I mean? Sometimes it comes off in a long stringy thing and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to basically make a big noodle out of this one. And starting a little bit further back, going up like this, and we're going a little bit forward, and this is where it no longer matters what I'm doing, because inside here is never going to be seen. The turret sits on top of this part. The next little section is a little bit special. So this pattern is actually going to, this one is actually going to continue up onto the turret. But I don't like painting it together, so I mean, I could put the turret on there, but then it becomes a struggle to keep the turret in one spot and paint around it. Now here's where the example of it being great to mold a shape is. There we go. So that's going to be a cool little pattern. Moving down, we've got another one that's going to go straight up. And this is basically par for the course on this stuff, right? Next one over is pretty much straight up. Kind of like this. starts off thin and gets wider. It actually kind of stops and doubles back on itself a little bit here. It's all really what's great about this is you get it's all how you want to do it. It's based on your feelings. And if you don't like it, you can always pull it back, pull it off, redo it. It's very forgiving that way. That one looks pretty good, so what's next? One final one that's going to go way back on a funky angle. And it looks like they didn't bother doing any kind of paint on the engine exhausts. But they just left them black. At least as far as I can tell, that's what it looks like. And that's it for that. So this side is done. Now this part I'm not gonna bother painting this green. I don't even need to mask it. And it looks like the very back of the tank, which I don't have here, but this section, this is also black. It's like they didn't bother doing anything here. They just left it black, and in fact it's a huge section that's going to be left black along the top here. So in fact I can now, the picture I have to show, it shows the top is turned around like this, and there's a huge, like that is all black there. So just like that. Fact, just looking at what they've done, they haven't done anything here, but I've got a good squiggly line I need to run across there, so go. So there's that. Moving on, we've got another one that basically runs like this also. So let's run this one out. And we're basically following this same kind of, but then we get this and we go down. I'm gonna have to put some more onto that. And it's easy to get a little bit disoriented and forget which parts are black and which are green, right? So you gotta have to pay attention to that and watch. This one actually comes along and changes direction. This. Now this whole section here is going to be black. This in here, this little strip, that's all green. This is black. This is all green. Okay. Now looking at what's next, we actually have kind of just a blob. This. And it's time to get some more out of here. The other beauty with this stuff is once you have painted it, it's not single use. I don't know what magic it does, but paint doesn't really stick to this stuff. It doesn't really at all. It's kind of weird. And I don't know how they do it, but you'll see when I'm done painting and I pull this stuff off of there, you'll see what I can do with it after, and the paint just kind of disappears out of it. It's really, oops, it's a really weird phenomenon. Okay, next piece. I'm going to be going straight, kind of straight up the middle here with a big black splotch. So what I'm going to do, because this takes so much time, and it's kind of a tedious task, I don't want to bore you guys with watching me do this. So for the interest of, or in the interest of getting this thing done, I'll spray the green on here, just on the hull, and I will call it a day. because it's pretty much all there is to show you guys on how to do this. It's pretty easy, it's pretty straightforward. So I will spray this, I'll pull it off so you can see the results, and then I'll end the video there. But you know, in the background and on my own time, I will continue this and do the brown. So moving a little bit further forward, we get to about here. I'm doing this, but I want to do that way. Again, the beauty of this is if you don't match what picture you have of this or your reference perfectly, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. It's really all up to you on how your pattern goes and how it looks. It's all up to you. You've got artistic license to do whatever you like and whatever you feel is going to be the best look. Doing that nice little cover there, so I'm going to have a black fender, and I'll do one more little spot right up in the middle there, and that'll be it. Kind of drag this one out, give it a little bit of a funky shape, and we'll just kind of splotch it right there. And there we go. So that's all of our black sections. Now, can I use more of this stuff and fill it in these little spots? Yes, I can, but I don't have to, which is yet another thing that's really awesome about this stuff. We can just mask off little sections that we didn't get a chance to do. So this side looks good except for this, so I need to put masking tape here. This is where the masking tape really comes in handy, especially little pieces, because I don't want to get green overspray over the black. We can just do that, and masking tape sticks to it very well, so you don't have to worry about the tape peeling off of it. But at the same time, it doesn't stick to it like glue, you know? It's easy to peel off after. So if you've never used this stuff, because maybe you don't know what it was, or didn't know how to use it, how well it would work, I recommend giving this stuff a try. If you're looking for those hard line type of camouflage, don't be afraid to try this stuff out. I do like the fact that it's multiple use, so you get to use it over and over, because it is, you know, at the end of the day, this hobby costs money. And so if you can save a little bit of money by using a product that you can use over and over, instead of always doing single use, then why not, right? Okay, so we're going through here on this spot, so I want to not go crazy. I'm going to accidentally cover up my camouflage. Now what my little reference photo is showing is that there's no camouflage on the engine cover, but that doesn't seem realistic to me. I would think they would want that, you know, you don't want this giant rectangle showing up on, you know, photos and whatever, giving away the fact that this is a tank sitting there, or at least, you know, some man-made thing. At least I wouldn't think so anyway. Let me close this. Go back to this. Sorry guys, I had another screen open and I wasn't seeing, I didn't get to see my chat. So, Yuala, thank you for the compliment. Yes, it is hot here. Currently 25 degrees in my room. And, El Puget. Hi, Canada. Hello to you. Is this a tank? Yes, it is. It's this guy here. The Flakpanzer Gepard. Okay, that's on there. Alright. Just getting ready to do some painting. So just doing some masking here to get her ready to paint this a whole different color. Sorry, my English no good. That's okay. My Spanish ain't so good. Okay, so I want to make sure, I want to continue this down in there because this just isn't right. So I'm actually going to turn that into a kind of a splotch. You can't speak Spanish? No, I don't know any Spanish at all. I do know a little bit of Korean, but I don't think that's going to help you at all. Actually, I don't need that yet. You should learn Spanish, brother. It will help you more when you communicate with me. Oh! I suppose you're right. That is true. If I knew Spanish, I would be able to communicate better with you. That's for sure. But right now, I'm trying to learn Korean, and so that takes up a lot of my brain power, just trying to learn that. Oh, well, I didn't change my hairstyle. I did get my hair cut. I just got my hair cut yesterday. So, yeah, that's probably why you're noticing a big change there. Okay, we're almost ready. Looks good on me. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, one more section to cover up here and we'll be ready to go. Use the traductor. What is traductor? I'm not familiar with traductor. Sorry, I don't know what a traductor is. Oh, word translator. I don't have like a translator open right now, but yeah, I do use. I have Google Translate, and I have Papago translator app on my phone. Okay, our masking is done. Except for this, I don't like that. I need to fix that. You wrote it in your language. That's okay. It's quite all right. Okay, so similar fashion, we're just going to use a little blob of this just to fill in this little area here, because I'm not super happy with it. This stuff is always very eager to stick to itself. There we go. I like that a little bit better. Squish it down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, we're ready for some paint. Okay, so I have my air compressor already turned on, ready to go. So I'm just going to move this over to my table right here, and we'll get our paint ready to go. Use my little shaker here. Can you pronounce the N? The N. But it's got the little funky thing over top of it. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure how that is pronounced. Okay, got my airbrush here. This is my brand new PS 266. This is a 0.5 needle. For those that care, it's good for painting in large areas. So there's our green color. So don't need a whole lot, especially for what I'm doing right now. So got that in the cup. Clean that up. Now I have thinned this down. This isn't just straight out of the jar. This is thinned about 50%, something like that. I'm also going to paint all our little wheels green. Okay, so that's another thing I've got to do. I just don't know how I'm gonna. I could do them individually like this. I could put on a pair of gloves and do that. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Can you say a word for me? What kind of word? Oh, hi, Mega Boy. Like a word in Spanish? Like, I don't know. Hasta la vista? Is that even Spanish? I don't know. Okay. So I'm going to change the camera for you so you can see what I'm doing over here on the table. And so here we go. Here we go, right here. Basically, it's going to be green. I wasn't supposed to paint that part. Oops. And that about does it. Just going to make sure I got all my angles. All right. And that's it. So that's basically it. And I still got a little bit left in the cup. That's that. We'll let that sit just for a minute. I'm going to start working on all these wheels. How am I going to do the wheels? Oh, I know how I'll do them. I'll just do a little trick I used to use all the time. Do this. And do this side. Pull that tight so that I get the sticky side up. That's actually enough to get all of them stuck on there. Can you say carrito rum rum? Carrito rum rum. I don't know what that means, but yeah. And there's all our wheels. What else we got? Yes or no? Ay cabron. Soy Mexicano, eh? Entiende sonso? I don't know. I don't know if I'm butchering that or what. These cogs, there's not going to be a lot visible on there, so I don't think it really matters how much coverage I got on them or not. I think it's good enough. I might paint my fingers a little bit green, it's not a big deal. There we go. I know my fingers are a little green. It's not the end of the world. But that's going to be it. That's going to be it for that. I'm going to clean up my brush. Actually, get this out. And we'll clean my brush. good enough of clean for now. Because I want to show you guys, now that this is dry, we can peel off our masking tape. Now, I accidentally painted some green here, which I wasn't supposed to do. So that just shows you more on how you need to pay attention to what parts you're supposed to paint and what you're not. So you could be smarter than me and actually, like, I could have masked this whole section and that would have shown me, hey, I'm not supposed to paint that. Get out of there. And that would have been a really smart thing to do. But I didn't do that. Because I'm not really smart. And I got no problem admitting that. Now you see what I mean? The masking tape, although it sticks to this putty stuff, it doesn't stick super crazy. And that's a very useful thing. It sticks like just good enough. Okay, so that's the masking tape done. So, I'll show you guys this stuff. It peels off nicely and leaves a very nice hard line. And you'll see I am going to run into a couple of little challenges as I go along. So I'll show you guys. I'll change the camera so you can see better here. Okay. You can see that it leaves a very nice crisp line with no bleeding, no nothing. That's one thing you don't ever have to worry about. Now, as I said before, there are some instances where it will stick in the cracks and not really want to peel out. I haven't had that yet, okay, but I am anticipating it. So sections like this, or you just want to pull it up like that, and sometimes it pulls up, sometimes it gets stuck, but so far we're having a great time. Sometimes just finding that little corner to peel it up can be a challenge. Other times it's no problem at all. See, there's where it's stuck pretty good. But where it's stuck on itself like that, we can do this and peel it up. See what I mean? It sticks to itself really good, really good. So with this done, I can actually just leave that taped on there, no problem, and we'll continue. Even over the mesh of the grill, there's no problem. Almost done. See, like it's stuck there. Don't know why it wants to stick, but there we go. Boom. One more piece. Done. So there we go. So that's the green. The next step is the brown, okay? But I'm not going to do that right now. I still do have to do the turret. But before I do that, before I go, we have this little blob pile of stuff, and this has green paint all over it now, right? But if I take this and I just kind of pull it and knead it in on itself, and do this, it doesn't matter. I've painted light brown, sandy brown with this stuff, and as you could tell, when I was putting this on, there was no evidence of any paint on it. And by doing this, I don't know what it does with the paint, but it has gotten rid of it, and this is now black. The green is gone. I don't know what it does with it. It's magic. It really is. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty neat. Why am I continuing to do this? I don't know, just because it's fun. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave it for now, guys. Next time you see this thing, it will be fully painted and will be done. And I just realized it looks like I have naked girls on my desk. They're not naked. I just haven't painted the other colors yet. The girls are wearing clothes. Don't worry about that. Oh, you're welcome, Uala. Thank you for watching, and thanks for the chat. And if you haven't done so already, hit that like button down there below and subscribe. For you guys on YouTube, it'd be greatly appreciated. And if you're watching on YouTube, head over to my Twitch and talk to me, just like Uella and however you pronounce your name. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know I'm butchering it. But this is where I'm going to leave it here for now, guys. And yeah, I don't have time to continue the painting process right now, so I'll just have to continue it another time. And then, of course, the next color is going to be the brown. So that's where you guys are going to see it next time. It'll be kind of final assembly and some weathering, putting some dust effects on it and stuff like that. So that'll be it. So that's where I'm going to leave it here for now. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks again for coming out. And yeah, leave a comment down below if you like this stuff. And yeah, thanks again. We'll see you all in the next one.